Playground!
Hooray!
This is the Deron Harris Podcast. Here's your host, Deron Harris.
Yo, what up, y'all? Welcome back to the program. Thank you for joining me this week. I'm your host, Deron Harris, and this is my podcast, y'all. How you feeling? Hopefully everybody out there is doing well. This past week, man, I did a podcast not too long ago, and the title of the podcast was, If It's an All-White America That They Want, Then Let Them Have It. Well, this past week, Donald Trump made the possibility of a quote-unquote all-white America. He made that, he brought that a little bit closer by making segregation legal again. So now it is legal to segregate against people based on, a number of factors. So it's just segregation is back. Segregation is back, y'all. And that's what I'll be talking about today. But first, I'd like to dive into a little bit and figure out how everybody is doing mentally. And I'll tell you what, something like this, I can understand where that might push a few people over the edge. But I want to let everybody know that there are plenty of avenues out there for you to get help. I just recently started going back to therapy. I had stopped for a little while so my wife could have some procedures done because she had to have surgery. But I am back, and I am a huge advocate for therapy. So if you're out there and you're struggling, if you're out there and you know you feel like you're at a dead end, you don't know which way to turn, you don't know which way to go, just know that there are plenty of professionals out there that are more than willing to help you get through whatever hard time it may be that you're going through. So keep that in mind, folks. All right, so today, like I said, we're talking about discrimination, and it's just getting to the point where, you know, it's just getting funny, man. This guy is really doing all he can. I mean, last week, would he take Jackie Robinson's profile down off of the government website? I think somebody said they put it back up, but they've been removing all of our legacy all over the country, like almost on a daily basis. Everything that we've accomplished, everything that we've championed for, everything is being systematically erased. And there's no explanation given other than, we're getting rid of DEI, which, you know, they find DEI to be synonymous with black people, even though black people were the last recipients of DEI, affirmative action, and all the rest of that shit that was put in place to help us, get on an equal playing field. So all that stuff has been rolled back. All that stuff has been Walmarted and rolled on back. And the general consensus around the country, from a lot of people are, oh my God, how can you do this? This is terrible. How can this happen? And I will tell you, in the black community, we don't give a fuck. All right? I'm going to say it again. We don't give a fuck. We don't care, man. We don't give a shit that he wants to segregate us. Because realistically and honestly, look at it like this. How often are we in spaces like that anyway? How often are we invited into your spaces? Almost never. Almost never. And when we are invited into those spaces, we are governed. We are told how to behave in those spaces. And when we create our own spaces, a lot of people feel like they're being discriminated against and that they need access to things that were put in place for us simply because we couldn't get in over there. I'll give you an example. There was a women of color yoga group, and it was billed as that. It was a yoga group, and it was just some women in their neighborhood that decided that they were going to put together a yoga group, and they started doing yoga. And there were some black ladies in there, there were some Latin ladies in there, and they were enjoying yoga because, every time they went down to the little white yoga spot, they got looked at like they had three heads, and people were giggling at them, and just it made it really uncomfortable for them to be there. So they formed their own yoga group. Well, what happened was, white lady decided that she was going to go to the yoga group, and she went into the yoga group and immediately was upset at the fact that this group had been put into place for black women, and this is discriminatory against white people, and et cetera, et cetera. I mean, just went on and on about it, and it was like, you motherfuckers got yoga everywhere. It's yoga. Yoga was made for. In this country, yoga is dominated by white people, and anytime we go into any white space, we are always ridiculed, looked at like we have 9 heads, et cetera, et cetera. And when we come out with things for ourselves, that's a no-no. We can't even do that without them complaining that they are being left out of things. Well, I got news for y'all. Some things don't involve you. But see, that's the problem. That right there is the problem. If it doesn't involve them, especially if it's articulated that way, then they feel it necessary, like they have to go over there and investigate and see it's going on. A yoga group for women of color, as it was billed, a yoga group for women of color, yoga group in this neighborhood where mostly people of color live. But somebody saw this and decided that they wanted to go in because they felt entitled to go in. And when things were not the way, when things didn't cater to her, she was upset about it. And we don't fucking care. We don't fucking care, okay? It's always been you who has wanted to separate from us. But when we separate from you, the only thing you want to do is figure out how you can come over here and disrupt, dismantle, and destroy anything that we prop up, anything that we build for ourselves out of necessity, for the reason of being discriminated by you. I mean, because even though discrimination is still illegal on the state level, because now it's legal on the federal level all of a sudden, even though discrimination they still discriminate. They still discriminate. They still will discriminate. And now they can discriminate legally? Oh my goodness. But that's great though. That's great. And again, like I said, we don't fucking care. I mean, what the fuck? We gonna meet you at Texas Roadhouse? I mean, we gonna meet y'all at Panera Bread? No, we not doing none of that. We not doing that. Because that's not what the fuck we do. You know what I'm saying? We don't need that. We don't need to be around you. I mean, it's cool. We don't care, but we don't need to be. We don't need you. And that's the thing. That's the problem. If they're so convinced that we need them in order to survive, when we start to thrive without them, they get booty hurt. And then what do? They want to come over, dismantle, disrupt, and destroy the things that we construct, the things that we build. And then they say, see, you do need us after all. Bullshit. We never needed you. We never needed you. It's you that needs us. And one of the reasons you need us is because you need something to hate. You need something, and not only do you need something to hate, you need something to hate that actually cares that you hate it. We don't care that you hate us, okay? We don't give a fuck anymore. I mean, it's been so fucking long. We just don't give a fuck no more. Now a lot of Latin people, they might be upset that you hate them, but black folks, we don't give a fuck that white people hate us. We haven't given a fuck about that in fucking decades. I mean, honestly, we don't give a fuck about that. The only thing we want to do is live peacefully, quietly, and be able to do the things that everybody else is able to do within their own ethnic background, like everybody else. But I got a buddy who is upset that I have chosen to support black-owned business. And when I tell him why, he called me a straight-up racist and a separatist. Yeah, I got called a racist and a separatist because racists don't want us in their society, so we have decided to turn in on our own communities. So me turning in onto my own community is racist. Me supporting my own community is racist. But me going to buy things at Target is okay. Me going to Walmart, me going to a place, and I asked him, I put the question to him, and that's what I do. He doesn't think a lot, when it comes to shit like this. And he shies away a lot from conversations like this because, quite frankly, he doesn't understand. And I don't expect him to, and I don't care if he does. And I let him know that loud and clear this past week. I don't care. You don't need to understand why this has to happen. Okay? We need our own things. We definitely do. We need our own farms. We need our own schools. We need our own hospitals. We need our own things. And we need our own things free of interference from the Anglo-Saxon community. Now, does that mean that we want to separate? No. You can come over here and buy all the shit you want. What it means is we are no longer putting anything else in front of who we are. That's all it means. But if we do that, if we put ourselves first, if I put myself and my people first, all of a sudden I'm a racist. Oh, yeah? But white people have been putting white people first for fucking 400 years. They've been putting us last for fucking 400 years, and that's not racist? The fuck is that? I'm supposed to continue to shop at a place in the name of unity, even though this place doesn't support my people? I'm supposed to continue to do that? And I'm supposed to give a fuck what you think? Fuck that. I'm not doing that. You know what I mean? And I don't know many black folks who would. You know what I mean? I don't know many black people who would say, yeah, these people don't really fuck with us, but, I think I'm still going to go over here and spend all my money with them anyway. No. I think most intelligent people would look for another way to obtain the things that we get on a daily basis. I got called a racist because I bought deodorant from a black-owned company. Oh, you're a separatist. Well, you know what? If you want to call me a separatist because, I supported a black-owned business, then you call me that, But don't forget the fact that I'm fucking black. Don't forget that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, don't forget that at all. I'm very proud to be who I am. I am proud that our ancestors came through this struggle and persevered and put it in their mouths and made them fucking chew on it. Because here we are. We are thriving. And we would have thrived a hell of a lot more if it were not for the racist systems that were put in place to help us, to aid them in slowing us down. I talk about this book that I'm going to tell you guys about a lot. It's called The Birth Dearth. Now, I've said it a few times on my podcast, and it's basically a playbook on how white people are to remain the majority in this country. How white people are to maintain their majority. And a lot of it is, believe it or not, a lot of it is part of the Project 2025 playbook. The conservatives, they want to stop abortion probably almost more than they want to stop black people. You know what I'm saying? But they want to stop abortion for the reason that white women abort children at a higher rate than everybody else in the country. And what that does is that speeds the dispossession of their race in this country. So what do? Oh, no. You can't abort any more babies. As a matter of fact, it's against the law. And the reason why is because they need that population spike. Because their population is declining because white women are having less babies because they're more career oriented. It's just, it is a product of their own doing. They did this. They empowered women. which they didn't want. They wanted women and black people, and white men wanted women and black people and minorities to be subservient to them forever. They were supposed to be, according to their degree, they were supposed to be the ones to drive the bus, wherever the bus went, and they got to divvy out whatever rations that all of us needed. Black folks, women, and minorities. The white man has always been that what I want to say, the top of that category, the authority of everyone. And the fact that people are starting to say, no, you're not. You're not the authority here. You are actually, you're just like the rest of us. The fact that this is happening on a large scale everywhere is really starting to rattle them. And that's why we have what we have now, this Project 2025. We got all these people around trying to start beef. Everybody, they're trying to bait black people out into the street, but we smarter than that, y'all. And just so you know, it's like something divine is like, yo, y'all sit this one out. And people are mad. People are genuinely upset because the way that things are going in this country, people are mad that black people have not stood up and taken the mantle. Man, fuck that. We've already done that. We've done that for every single minority group in this country. We were the sacrificial lamb. It was us. We were the ones hosed down the street. You know what I'm saying? They didn't hose no motherfucking Ukrainians down the street. They didn't do that. They didn't hose no Russians or they didn't hose them people down the street. They didn't do that. This country shit on black people and the Chinese and the Hispanics almost since fucking day one, man. But what they've done is they have figured out how to get all of us to hate each other, but not them. But people are starting to figure out that, hey, man, I don't got no fucking problem with the Chinese people. As a matter of fact, the food is great. People are starting to figure that out. And Chinese people are starting to figure out that I don't have a problem with these people over here. Hispanic and black people, we kind of been kindred spirits for a long time. We might beef from time to time, but we pretty much kindred spirits in this. And people starting to recognize that unity is much more powerful than what the fuck they got going on. And they are starting to realize it too. That the more unified that the people of this country are, the less power that they have, and the less control and less influence that they have. And that's why you have, all of the major social media platforms are controlled by this one party. All of our media outlets are starting to be dismantled by this party so that they can push their ideology, their propaganda on the masses of United States through our social media outlets and our regular media outlets. But what they didn't count on is the fact that people know the fucking truth, that people got actual mouths and eyes, and they can speak out against it. But the problem is with the people here in this country, and I don't know, maybe these red hats, this motherfucker says one thing. If he says something more than one time, the bottom line is if he says something more than 5 times, they believe it. Doesn't matter if it's a super lie, they believe it. The illegal immigrants have entered our country. The illegal immigrants have entered If he says that shit more than 5 times, automatically it becomes the gospel. And I heard somebody today that said the Southern evangelicals, these Southern fucking these Christian nationalists, as we call them, these people have replaced Jesus. This is what I heard, have replaced Jesus with Donald Trump. And it's going to blow up in their fucking face. I mean, it really is, because they're still reaching out. They're still looking at this guy. Oh, yeah. But meanwhile, shit is starting to spiral downward. And every time something happens, and if you notice, every time somebody does something that, oh my God, that's gonna affect us too. Oh my God, he comes right behind it and says, we do something else to disenfranchise black people. And what does that do? That resolidifies his base. And the reason why is because they don't give a fuck. if things get a little harder for them. And I've said this before too. They don't care if things get a little bit harder for them, as long as it gets a lot harder and damn near impossible for us. Because at the end of the day, and I've said this to my buddy, I've said this to a few friends of mine, a few white friends of mine, at the end of the day, the very most is you're gonna be inconvenienced. It's gonna be inconvenience for you. Oh, God damn it, I didn't vote for that, I voted for this, but you gonna be okay. I don't have that luxury. Okay? Everything that this man is doing these days, everything that he is trying his damnedest to bait us into the streets so that they can declare martial law, so that they can have the police force come and crack our heads and incarcerate our people, so that he can say, see what I have, these people they're savages and need to be controlled, all that bullshit. That's what's happening, y'all. And if you don't see that, then you're fucking blind. You're a blind man. You're a blind man. And if you're still on board with it, if you're still up here defending his bullshit, then you're part of it. Then you're part of it. You've effectively been brainwashed. Now, my buddy tells me all the time, I need to look in the mirror. Oh, look in the mirror much? Yeah, I look in the mirror all the fucking time. All the fucking time I look in the mirror. And I'm able to say this. I am not a perfect person. You know what I'm saying? But one thing I do know is that I have morals and integrity. And I will not support something that does not support me, period. Okay? I don't care about the politics. I don't give a fuck about the economy. I don't care about none of that shit. If the shit doesn't support me, this motherfucker can go up in flames. For all I care. Especially if they're going to do their best to hold me underwater. Now, my question, my friend, is this. I'm not doing anything, man. The only thing I'm sitting here. I ain't doing shit. I'm smoking blunts. I'm chilling. That's all the fuck I'm doing. These motherfuckers are working overtime to disenfranchise me. So my question to my buddy is why the fuck are you mad at me for speaking out against that shit and not mad at them for trying to impose that shit? Why? Why? And I'll go ahead and answer. Because he doesn't like when white people are called out because he feels guilty. He feels that guilt. And I keep telling him that he doesn't need to feel that guilt because he had nothing to do with with what the fuck's going on. But if you're sitting up here backing this man's fucking ideology and trying to defend some of his points, which a lot of times he'll come off and say da 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 da, and he'll say he doesn't, but it's just a Fox News talking point. Which is easy to look up. It's easy to figure out where it came from. But he says, oh, no, that's not what I did. Yeah, that's exactly what you did because you said it verbatim. But the thing that he doesn't do is he doesn't cross-check his work. He just doesn't cross-check his work. And that's unfortunate because he kind of really needs to, because a lot of these things that Fox News puts out is propaganda. And it's manipulation to get people to believe the things that this man has said. And it's lies. It's lies. Fox News, as my producer likes to say, Fox News is entertainment. It's going to fall into the realm of entertainment because that's what it is. It's not fucking real. It's not fucking facts. It's a bunch of fucking lies made to skew people's perception about the things that are going on in our country for real. That's what it is. That's all it is. And the fact that he can't decipher that means that they got his ass. They got his ass. Now, I've said, motherfuckers who support Trump, I can't really get down with you. You know what I'm saying? I've said that. Now, he'll say to me, oh, I don't really like that guy. He says that a lot. I'm not really a Trump, but you follow his policies. You agree with it, some of the things that he's doing. He and I had a huge argument about the fact that they were removing the identities of the people in the Arlington National Cemetery, the blacks, the Latins, and the women. He says, why do they need to recognize that? Because. And this is one of the things I said, that I don't need him or care that he understands or not. I don't give a fuck if he understands why this is necessary or not. I don't care. You can hate on it all you want to, but all you're doing is just showing your true colors. That's all you're doing. That's all you're doing. You know, he'll sit up and say stupid shit. He said stupid shit. You know, I said, your people were never held back for the color of your skin. Yes, we were. Yes, I was. No, the fuck you weren't, man. No, you weren't. And you still benefit from the privileges today. But he seems to think, oh, my family, we struggle too. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Okay? Nobody had your ancestors up to their fucking necks in mud. Okay? Nobody buck broke your fucking ancestors. Nobody. So you can shut the fuck up with that shit. And I'll tell you in your face. You know, it gets frustrating. It gets very, very, very frustrating to talk about these things with this guy because, you know, I love him to death, but he's, you know, a lot of times he's ignorant as fuck because all he does is he tells me I make it into a race thing. I always make this thing. No. It's a race thing to you because I stand up for my race. That's it. Because I'm standing up and I'm pushing back against, you know, I hate to say it, what his race has done to my race. I push back against that. And because I push back against that, he feels some type of way. He thinks, oh, you must hate white people. No, I hate the ideology that you all were indoctrinated with. And that came from white people. And that's the truth. And sometimes the truth hurts the worst. I'm going to take a quick fast break and I'll be right back. This is Deron Harris Podcast.
The podcast playground. Hooray!
Now, back to the Deron Harris Podcast.
Hey, y'all, what's up? I'm back talking about segregation. And it's about to be on and popping around this bitch. And everybody seems to think that it's going to hurt. Everybody seems, well, not everybody, white people. White folks seem to think that segregating is going to hurt us. It's going to help them and hurt us, but it's going to be the opposite way around. Watch what I tell you. Watch what I tell you. It's going to be the opposite way around. This isn't going to hurt us at all. And the reason why is because we're used to being by ourselves anyway. We're used to being in our own spaces anyway. We're used to being segregated and discriminated against by you motherfuckers anyway. We're used to it. So you just putting it on paper just solidifies the fact that, yeah, we need to continue to do us, period. It's no harm, no foul, no skin off our nose. We don't give a fuck. It's not like, oh, we won't be able to go, meet you guys at the Texas road. We don't give a fuck about that. We don't care about that. And while you're at it, if you want to segregate things, segregate some shit, man. Segregate everything. Why don't you go ahead and segregate everything? All right? And then, you know, I'm gonna ask my buddy today, now who's the separatists? Okay, who's the separatist? Donald Trump. This dude wants to segregate us. Well, he's done it federally. But he wants to segregate us. So, what the fuck about that? Don't be mad at me for standing up in it. Be mad at him for standing up in it. Simple as that. Be mad at this motherfucker for standing up in his racism. Don't be mad at me for standing up in my solidarity with my people. Don't be mad at me for that. And damn sure don't call me a fucking racist for that. Because I want to show my solidarity because my people now, all of a sudden, it's illegal to discriminate against them. That's simple, man. That's simple. So you can discriminate. I mean, like I said, we don't give a fuck because we have a good time anyway. We have a good time with ourselves anyway. Yeah. Does the black community have issues? Yeah. Yep. We definitely have some issues. But you know what, though? We don't have the issues that y'all have. We definitely don't have the issues that y'all have. And quite frankly, I don't think we ever will. Because how else should I, you know what? Because you guys aren't that important to us. We are not as important. I mean, you are not as important to us as we are to y'all. You hate to admit it. You hate us. You hate to admit this, but you need us. You need us because you need something to hate. Because if you didn't have us to hate, you'd end up having to hate yourselves. And that's the truth. That's the problem. And the Hispanics is like, yo, we ducking out the fucking way. You know what I'm saying? They dodging that bullet too. And they starting to understand that, yo, if we not around for you motherfuckers to hate, then you got to hate yourselves. Simple as that. Then you have to hate yourself. So that's why we don't need you, but you fucking do need us, because you need shit to hate. Because you're hateful. You are hateful. Your whole existence has been about colonization and conquest and disenfranchisement. And we're witnessing that today. We're witnessing it today. And you stand up in it. You used to not. You used to, try to sweep it under the rug, or, bamboozle people, try to make it, but it's not even a secret anymore. It's blatant. It's super obvious. But that's fine. And people are like, oh, how come you're not mad? How come you're not doing anything about it? Because we don't fucking care anymore. We don't fucking care. Do what the fuck you want to do. Do what the fuck you want to do, man. We don't fucking care. You guys want to have fucking polo matches in the middle of fucking Central Park? Knock yourselves out. We don't fucking care. You know what I'm saying? You want to fucking have fucking Waylon Jennings play the fucking Super Bowl? Great. We don't fucking care. And like I was saying while we on it, and I've said this, I had a fucking podcast about this too. Listen, if that's what you really want, segregate everything, including sports. Segregate everything. You motherfuckers would lose your mind if we left football, because that would just make football the wackest sport in the, for real, you gonna watch an all-white guy football game? Word? Okay. I hope that works out. Simple as that. The bottom line is you've had to do so much research. You've had to manipulate so many systems. You've had to create so many obstacles in order to hold us back, in order to keep us back, in order to keep us from catching you and ultimately surpassing you. Look at all the things you've had to put in place. Redlining. Look at all the shit that you've had to put in place. You even got RFK Jr. trying to fuck our health up even further by saying, oh, well, black people should be on a different vaccination schedule because they're different. No. They should be on a different vaccination schedule because you want to give us different medicine. You want to give us different things. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. RFK does not know what the fuck he's talking about, especially when it comes to fucking black people. And I'm going to tell you right now, your fucking father and your uncle are spinning over in their fucking graves right now. In your fucking graves. Your family can't stand you because they can't stand the man that you work for. You caved, bro. You punked your ass out. You were an independent. People were starting to feel what you were saying, but you caved under the pressure of whiteness. You caved. So, my thing is this, y'all. At the end of the day, I know just as well as everybody else, segregation doesn't work, okay? Segregation, they think it does because they think that it puts them in a position of superiority where they have their own society and they can make it how they want to and it's pristine. But the fact still remains that even though they have these things, the minute we start to develop our own things, they want a piece of it. They want a piece of it. They want to dismantle it. They want to make it their own. They want to exploit it. And they want to capitalize off of it. And they want to leave us out of it, even though we created it. It's just their MO. It's just the MO, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not saying that's everybody, but it damn sure is the system that's in charge right now. So, I'm going to wrap this up by saying this. I am not in favor of discrimination. I don't want to be discriminated against, and I don't want to discriminate against anyone. I don't want anyone to discriminate against anyone. I do not want to live in a society where people discriminate against each other based on the color of their skin or their religion or their sexual orientation. I don't want to live in a society like that. But here we are living in this society. And even though I don't want to live in this society, I will tell you right now that I don't care. That I'll sit my ass right here and I'll live in a discriminatory America right over here on the side that I should be on. You know, it's no longer important for us to integrate into your society because we understand this. We understand that black women are the most educated diaspora of the most educated person on the planet. The most educated people on the planet are black women. Don't believe me? Look it up. We know that. And we also know that the resilience of a black man is unmatched. We know that also. So, like we always say, do your worst. Do your worst. Because we're just going to keep coming. And we're going to keep coming. And we're going to keep coming. And we're going to come until we have taken over. That we have put all of your ideologies to bed. You know, not in your own communities, in our communities. All right? Make no mistake about it. We don't need you. All right? Not like you need us. We damn sure don't need you because we've been doing ourselves for 400 years now, haven't we? And nothing you've ever given us has benefited us. Nothing. So, what difference does it make if we are with you or not? What difference does it make? It doesn't. I do want black folks to recognize and realize this, though, that they are trying as hard as they can to get history to repeat itself. All right? They are trying desperately to get history to repeat itself. All right? That means that everything that we build, now everything that we build, we have to protect. Everything that we construct, we have to protect. Every stride that we make, we have to protect and defend. Okay? Because once we start thriving, once we start outshining them, once we start doing better than they expect us to do, expect the violence to come. Because who said it? I think it was Future who said it. If you ain't got no haters, you ain't popping, right? And they're haters, y'all. And we have plenty of them. All right? So just know that your haters is out there working overtime. Just know that we need to be working overtime with them. Okay? That's going to do it for this episode of the Deron Harris Podcast. Thank you very much for joining me, folks. I do appreciate it. I want to thank my parents for giving me the mouthpiece and the brain. I want to thank my wife for being my number one fan. I want to thank my best friend and producer, Jesse Yandel, for being a lights out producer. I want to thank Gentry Thomas for the platform. And last but not least, first and last but not least, I want to thank all my listeners that have stuck with me, that are still here with me. And the conversation doesn't have to stop here. You guys can hit me on my social media. I am Deron motherfucking Fuggin Harris on TikTok. I'm the illustrious Deron T. Harris the illustrious Deron Harris on Instagram, and I'm Deron Harris Comedian on Facebook. Or you can go to DeronHarris.com and reach out to me there. So, again, thank you very much for joining me, folks. And remember, man, I'm not, we don't need to be segregated. We need to be unified. But, make no mistake about it. We are prepared for that, too. So, until next week, folks, go out there and spread love, man. Spread a bunch of love. Spread more love than hate. Spread more love than you see these motherfuckers hating. That's all you got to do. These people are out here hating on a daily basis. They hate so much. Spread love, man. It's easy. It's easier to spread love than hate. Remember that. All right? I'm Deron Harris. I'll see you guys next week. Peace.
You've been listening to the Deron Harris Podcast. Subscribe to the show, give a good rating, and everything you need to know is at DeronHarris.com.